Pro Football Weekly is playing the Cover 3, where we bring you under-the-radar stories from 3 of our editors from Week 17.
In last season's playoffs, the Falcons were a disappointing one-and-done. They were blown out, embarrassed in front of their home crowd in a loss to the Green Bay Packers, and their secondary took a lot of heat for its performance in that game, specifically nickelback Chris Owens, who was burned repeatedly by Aaron Rodgers. Now let's flash forward to 1 year later. A lot of the same questions about the secondary that were asked at that time still exist, and they're going up against the Giants team that's pretty proficient when it comes to passing the ball. The question for Atlanta is, will that secondary step up and answer some of these questions in a huge playoff game and finally get that first postseason win of the Mike Smith and Matt Ryan era? Or we'll be having the same discussion about this secondary a week from now.
I know the Baltimore Ravens have had some success over the past couple years winning playoff games on the road. Each of the last 3 years, they've been on the road on Wild Card Weekend and won. But this season's a little different. It's probably a pretty good season for the Ravens to clinch the AFC North title, get that bye, and get to host a playoff game. The most complete team in the AFC, this veteran Baltimore team, has lost on the road to the Titans, Jaguars, Seahawks, and Chargers this season. None of those 4 teams are in the playoffs. And the Ravens, 8-0 at home. But be cautious. The last time Baltimore hosted a playoff game, 2006, and they lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion, Indianapolis Colts.
Only fitting that we're doing the Cover 3 because by my count, the Rams suffered 3 big losses in Week 17. One was their game against the 49ers at home, but the bigger ones were the Colts losing in Jacksonville, which gave them the #1 pick in the draft. Now the Rams pick second, and they've got to hope that Robert Griffin generates enough interest so they can trade those for draft picks and really help their football team out. But another more subtle loss happened up in Green Bay. Yes, Green Bay. Matt Flynn, with his big performance, threw his name out into the free agent circuit, and he could be one of the big names this coming offseason. And with Flynn out there, that takes one potential suitor out of the quarterback market, and thus probably lessens the market for the Rams' #2 pick. That's 3 losses in 1 day, making the Rams season even more miserable.
Get ready to hear Matt Flynn's name a whole lot this offseason. He's going to be the hot name for teams that need a quarterback this offseason, much like Kevin Kolb was last year. The difference between Flynn and Kolb and, say, a Matt Castle from a few years ago is those guys both had track records, whereas Flynn only has 2 career starts. The question is going to be how much teams are going to be willing to pay a guy who just doesn't have the experience. For the best coverage of the league, check us out at ProFootballWeekly.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about the NFL Draft, and Pro Football Weekly's new draft database has you covered. Check out updated player rankings for over 750 prospects and our exclusive PFW Stock Watch. Just go to the Draft tab at ProFootballWeekly.com.